everyone, thanks for joining me today. The focus for our class today is going to be on leg strength and flexibility. So we'll be working our way toward full splits at the end of class. And if you have available these props, have them handy, a couple of blocks, a towel, and a strap. But of course, these are optional, and if you don't have them, no worries. I'll give you other modifications. So we're gonna start today on our backs, and you can just have your strap handy and come into a shavasana posture. So bringing the legs to mat distance wide, the feet will fall open, we'll lay down on our backs, arms will rest alongside of the body, palms face up, and we just slightly scoot the shoulder blades underneath us. And from here, just go ahead and close the eyes. And we'll take a nice deep inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Slowly let it go through the mouth. One more, just like that. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And then inhale through the nose. This time we'll keep the lips closed and we'll exhale through the nose. Find a slight constriction to the back of the throat, making the breath audible. This is our Ujjayi breath, our victorious breath. For our last couple of breaths in this position, work toward an equal length in the inhale and the exhale. Make each breath a little bit longer, slower, and smoother. So as we fill up, the belly expands, the rib cage lifts and separates. We bring the air into the chest, filling up the lungs, lifting the sternum, lifting and separating the collarbones. Our exhale goes in reverse, releasing first from the lungs, then from the ribs, then all the way to low belly. Last breath. Go ahead and extend the left leg long on the mat, straight out in front, and then pull the right knee in toward the chest. I'm going to take the hands, interlace the fingers around the knee. We'll pull the knee off to the right, around the ribs, and up toward the right shoulder. Pull the elbows in, and then flex both toes back toward both knees, compressing through the right hip. And then we'll guide that leg back to center and extend the leg up toward the ceiling. So this would be a great place if you have tight hamstrings to use the strap. You can either place the loop around the foot, okay? Or you can just take the strap and place it around the sole of the foot. So keep that left leg nice and long and active, and then find a straight right leg. So even if that means the leg is way down here, that's fine. Just work toward a straight leg, and then you can use your strap to start to pull the leg a little bit closer to the face, opening up the hamstring. And again, if you don't have a strap, just hold the hands at the back of the thigh, the back of the calf. Maybe you can reach toward the ankle. Maybe you can even reach toward the foot. From here, we'll take the strap into the right hand, or we'll take the ankle into the right hand and start to release the right leg toward the right. Extend the left arm toward the left, place the palm on the hand, and use that left arm as a counterweight for the right leg. So leg will either be floating off the floor, it'll release all the way to the floor, but keep that left shoulder glued to the floor, keep the left hip glued to the floor. Then we'll guide the leg back towards center, and we'll switch out the grip on the strap or the leg. So left hand comes to the strap, right arm extends to the floor, palm faces down. Guide that right leg across the body. And then again, the leg will either come to the floor or it will float. We're now stretching not just the hamstring, but into the glute and into the IT band, which runs the outer edge of the leg. And then we'll guide that leg back towards center, release the strap, and release the right leg to the floor. And we'll do that on the other side. Pull the left knee into the chest, interlace fingers around the knee, and then guide the knee to the left and around the ribs up toward the shoulder. Shoulders and hips are planted firmly on the floor. Active in the toes, both toes flexing back toward both knees, elbows stay in. Hips and shoulders grounded onto the floor, one little squeeze here, and then guide that leg back towards center. Start to extend the leg up toward the ceiling. If you have a strap, place the strap over the foot. Otherwise, hands interlace behind the thigh or the calf or the ankle, or maybe you can reach the foot. But work toward a straight leg, even if that means that the leg is not all the way up toward the ceiling. Just working into the hamstring here. And then we'll take the strap into the left hand, or maybe peace fingers around big toe, or hold on to the ankle, and then we'll guide that left leg toward the left. Right arm will extend toward the right, hand planting firmly down onto the floor. Keep that right shoulder glued to the floor, right hip glued to the floor, and foot will either be floating or resting on the floor. Let's guide the leg back towards center and switch out the hands. So either your right hand comes to the strap, the calf, or the ankle, or the foot, and then we guide the foot across the body. Left hand, glues to the floor. Left shoulder plants firmly to the floor. Hold here, foot resting on the floor or floating off the floor. Just feel the stretch into the glute, feel the stretch into the IT band. And come back towards center. And this time we're going to pull both knees into the chest. You can reach your fingers towards one another, hands towards wrists, or hands towards elbows. Press your tailbone down. Big squeeze into both hips. And then relax the grip on the knees and just hold loosely onto the tops of the knees, and then take a couple of circles, massaging low back in both directions. And then we're going to roll the length of the spine, coming back, coming forward, and just one more time, massaging out the spine. Come all the way through, cross over the ankles, and come into a tabletop position. Take the wrists underneath the shoulders. The knees are right underneath the hips, flat back, gazing straight ahead, flat, lengthened spine. And then we'll take 3 rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, release belly toward the floor, lift through the crown of the head, lift through the tailbone, and then exhale, round the spine. Draw tailbone down, take your gaze toward your navel, lift and separate your shoulder blades. 2 more, inhale, exhale, cat. Last one, inhale, cow. Exhale, round to cat. Return to tabletop. Let's take 1 twist. So inhale the right arm up, reach the fingertips up, look toward the hand, and then right arm behind left. Come onto right shoulder and right ear. Extend the fingers long, press into the left hand, keep the hips high, inhale, unwind, exhale, release, and then we'll thread the needle on the other side. So inhale, left arm lifts, take the gaze up toward the fingertips, and then slide left arm behind right, come onto left shoulder and left ear, reach through the fingertips, press into the grounded hand, maybe look up toward the ceiling, and then inhale, unwind, reach up, look up, exhale, release, and let's make our way to downward facing dog. Spread the fingers nice and wide, tuck the toes under, lift the hips high, heels release down toward the floor. And start to find movement here in this first down dog. So we can pedal the legs, bending 1 knee at a time. Listening to the ankles pop and crack. You can sway the hips side to side. A little stretch through the left and right ribs, underneath the armpits. You can bend both knees deep, lift. You can shake that head, rock it around in circles, yes or no. Just releasing tension from the neck. So wrist creases are parallel with the front of the mat. Press into the palms of the hands, press into the finger pads, and one more breath. Look forward toward the hands. Walk the feet to meet the hands. Bring feet to hip distance apart. Bend the knees. Rest the torso on the thighs. Opposite hand comes to opposite elbow. Head dangles. Neck is nice and loose. Start to sway side to side. Once again, bending and straightening the legs one at a time. Last breath in ragdoll. Make your way back towards center. Release the hands down toward the mat. Inhale, come up to a halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. Reach through the crown of the head. Monkey pose. Shoulders away from the ears. Without moving the heels, start to spiral the heels toward the outer edges of the mat. You'll start to feel your inner thighs. Find an inner rotation, broadening through the sitting bones. One more inhale here. And exhale. Forward fold. Two more with the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, come up to a halfway lift. Pause. Reach the hands off to the side. Reach through the fingertips. Shoulders away from the ears. Firm through the quadriceps. Using a little bit of spinal strength here to hold the torso parallel to the floor. And on the next inhale, we rise all the way to tall mountain. Reach up through the fingertips. Start to lift the gaze and then spiral the pinky fingers in. Lower the shoulders away from the ears. Draw the tailbone down. Engage through the core. Lift through the chest. And exhale, cactus the arms. Pull the elbows down. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. And exhale, release, forward fold. Come down with a flat back, nice and slow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Heel toe the feet together. Big toes touch, little space between the heels. And inhale, sit low. Arms high, Utkatasana, chair pose. Bring the weight back into the heels. Lift through the fingertips. Keep the chest lifted. One more breath here. And on the next exhale, airplane chair. So we lift the heels, sweep the arms back, squeeze the triceps, shoulder blades squeeze together. Inhale. Exhale, release the heels. Inhale, chair pose. And with the breath, exhale, balance in our chair. Inhale, chair. Last time, exhale, balance, lift the heels. Inhale, rise all the way up, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Tall mountain, inhale. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. And last time, breath to movement. Inhale, chair. Exhale, sweep the arms back, lift the heels. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, rise high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to high plank pose. Pause in high plank. Draw the tailbone down. Lift through the shoulder blades. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, shift forward. Very slowly, lower down. Elbows graze the ribs. And release. Bring the feet together. Arms come alongside the body. palms face down, forehead rests on the floor. Press into the toes, press into the feet, engage the quads so the knees are lifting off the floor, and then inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms. Squeeze the triceps. Shoulder blades coming toward one another. 2 more breaths. And release, hands underneath the shoulders, forehead to the floor. Toes tuck under, press up tabletop or plank. Back to downward facing dog. 1 more breath here. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, take the right leg high. Exhale, open the hip, bend the leg. Take an extra breath here. Toes reaching toward the floor, knee reaching toward the ceiling. And then square off the hips, inhale. Straighten out the leg and step right foot to the outside of the right hand. Take the right toes to 45-degree angle of the right foot and then come down onto the left knee. You can stay upright here, roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. You can place the right hand on the knee and take a twist, opening through the shoulder. Or you can take your forearms down onto the floor, getting a little deeper into the hips. Lots of choices. So we're just warming up and stretching the legs. You can find movement here. Just feel into what your body's needing. Last breath. Come back up onto the hands. Heel toe the foot to the center of the mat. Find a nice strong low lunge. Chest is lifted, shining forward. And then very slowly rise up into crescent lunge. Bring the wrists right over the shoulders and the shoulders right over the hips. Find 90 degrees in that front leg. And then once again, draw the tailbone down toward the mat and then start to straighten through that back leg. Take 1 more inhale here. Exhale, warrior 2. Plant the back heel to the mat. Open the hips and shoulders to the side. Extend the arms long. Look out over the front fingertips. Sink low in that front leg. Pulling right knee toward right pinky toe so you can gaze down at the right big toe. Pressing into the outer edge of the back foot. 1 more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Both toes point out at 45 degrees. Arms reach up, palms face out. Nice, strong, engaged legs. Bring hands to the heart and sink low. Shoulders away from the ears. If knees start to come in, really engage the legs so that, again, you can see your right big toes. Hold here, just building a little bit of heat in the legs. Lift the right heel off the floor, engaging through the calf for 3, 2, 1. Release. Lift the left heel off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Release. Lift both heels off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Release. Hold here for another breath. Inhale, rise up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2 to the back of the mat. We're not going to hold this one here. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Heel lifts off the floor. Step back, inhale, plank pose. Option here for our first chaturanga. Shift forward, chest stays nice and wide. Elbows graze the ribs. We come halfway down. Flip over the feet. Inhale, open it up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Same leg. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge to the back of your mat. Keep your left hand on the floor and step back to side plank. Right foot meets the left, right arm reaches up. Options here. You can stagger the feet. You can take the right foot to the floor. You can take the left knee to the floor. One more breath. We're going to draw the right knee in toward the chest. And without setting it down, see if you can bring the right foot into low lunge at the back of your mat. From here, we'll come up into standing splits pose. So left leg lifts, head releases down, gaze is at the back of the mat. Take one more inhale. And exhale, lightly step, low lunge to the back of the mat. Rise up, crescent lunge. We'll travel back to the front of our mat. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat, sink low. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two to the front of the mat. Inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten that left leg, right hand slides down the back leg, left arm reaches up and back. Exhale, triangle pose. Hinge forward, lengthen through the torso, and then release left hand to the floor. Right hand reaches up toward the ceiling. Two arms are in one line. Take one more breath. Inhale here, and exhale, low lunge release. Right heel lifts off the floor. Step back plank pose. And chaturanga. Lower down. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Two more breaths. Last breath. All right, let's practice those postures on the other side. So left leg lifts, knee to nose, round it in. See if you can make contact there. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot to the outside of left hand. Take left foot out to 45-degree angle. Come down onto right knee. Roll onto the knife edge of the left foot. And again, you can stay here, lifting. You can take a twist, left hand to left knee, looking over the shoulder, pressing the knee open. Or you can come down onto forearms, getting a little deeper into the hips. Feel free to experiment and explore, find movement. Take all the different variations of the posture if you want, or you can just hold one. This side might be very different than the other. And then come back up onto the hands if you're not on them already. Heel toe, left foot to the center of the mat. Lift that right knee and find a strong low lunge. Chest is lifted, fingertips graze the floor. Inhale, crescent lunge. Rise up. Spiral those pinky fingers in, reach through the fingertips, sink low in that front leg. Draw the tailbone down and then start to lengthen through that back leg. Chest is lifted, or chin is lifted off the chest. Chest is lifting toward the chin. One more inhale here. Exhale, release, warrior two. Back heel comes to the floor. Arms come parallel to the floor. We sink right back into that left knee. Open the shoulders and hips to the side. And then really press into that outer edge of the back foot. Strong through the quadricep of the back leg. Last full breath. Our inhale is five-pointed star. Take both feet out at an angle. Reach up through the hands. Lift the chest. Engage through the quads. Exhale, hands to the heart. Sink into your squat. And this time, just a flow here, breath to movement. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, moon god. Elbows come in, palms face out, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, sun god, palms face up, arms parallel to the floor. Inhale, 5-pointed star. And exhale, goddess. Arms come to 90 degrees, palms face in. Nice, strong, sturdy legs. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior 2 to the back of the mat. Just to transition here, inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. And this time, the left foot or left hand will be on the floor. We'll take that right foot back to side plank. Not the wrong way. Right hand on the floor, left arm lifted. I'm confused now. Should be the opposite side plank from wherever we were before. And then we're gonna draw that knee in toward the chest. And without setting it down, see if we can take it into low lunge at the back of the mat. On the next inhale, standing splits pose. Lift the foot off the floor, relax the head. Look back toward the back of the mat. Take one more inhale, lift that leg higher. And exhale, set it down. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Inhale, reverse triangle. Left hand slides down the back leg, right arm reaches up and back. And then exhale, shift forward, reach, and release. 2 arms in one line. Open through the hips by drawing the tailbone forward. One more breath. Inhale here. Exhale, low lunge back to the front of the mat. Inhale, step back, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Okay, we're gonna flow once on each side, and then we'll take a short rest. Take one more breath, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step it through. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2 to the back. Inhale, reverse warrior. And this time exhale, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Step onto the left foot, lift the right foot off the floor, stack the shoulders, stack the hips. Hold here. Option for Ardha Chandrasana, Chapasana, bending that right leg, reaching around for the foot, taking the foot into the hand and then pressing that foot back. This is a really nice stretch for the quadricep of the right leg. Continuing to build heat in the left leg. If you're in Chapasana, return to Ardha Chandrasana. And then we're gonna release to a low lunge. And then we'll take that right hand as the foundation, left leg back. Lift that left leg off the right, left knee to the chest, step through, low lunge, step up, standing splits. And this time exhale, Jiva squat. We'll just do one. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, step back, low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat, just traveling back to the front of our mat. 5-pointed inhale. Warrior two, exhale. Reverse triangle, inhale. Triangle, exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, step back plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. One breath. Let's take it to the other side. Left leg, inhale. Low lunge, exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. Try to work breath to movement. Exhale, warrior two. Might be different than my pacing, and that's totally fine. Inhale, five-pointed. Exhale, prayer squat. Five-pointed inhale. Exhale, warrior two to the back of the mat. Inhale, reverse warrior. Stay low in that front leg. And then half moon pose. Lift that left leg off the floor. Stack the hips and shoulders. If you peek back, you should be able to see your left toes. Two arms in one line. Option for sugarcane pose. Bend that left leg, take the foot from the outside. Start to press the foot into the hand and press it toward the back wall. Last breath. Extend back to half moon if you're in Shavasana. Release low lunge. Left hand is the foundation. Side plank, step that right foot back. Lift the right arm up. Lift the right leg off of the left. Right knee to chest. And step forward, low lunge. Inhale, standing splits. And just one Jiva squat, exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, step lightly back, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Let's travel back to the front. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two to the front. Reverse triangle. Exhale, triangle. Inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, step back plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Bring the knees to the mat, wider than hips, feet flat to the floor. Press hips to the heels. Release forehead to the floor. Last breath. And walk your hands back up. Release. So we're going to be doing a little bit of core work, and we'll be doing some core that stretches our legs as well. So have your strap handy if you'd like to use it. And we'll just start in Navasana, boat pose. So lift your legs off the floor. You can have them at 90 degrees. You can hold on to the backs of the thighs with the hands lifting through the chest. Or you can extend the arms long, reaching toward the toes. It's nice to have the palms face up because then it helps lift the chest. And then the option to keep the legs or straighten through the legs. Last breath. Bring the hands to the heart. Press the sternum into the thumbs. And then we're going to just dip that right elbow to the right. getting into our obliques. Maybe the right elbow touches the floor, maybe it doesn't this time. Come back towards center, left elbow to the floor. Good. And then we're just gonna go back and forth, side to side. Right, left, right, left. 3, 2, 1. Both sides. Come back, come to a seat. Okay, so we're gonna be moving into upward angle pose. And if you wanna use the strap working towards straight legs, you won't actually split the legs. In that variation, it'll be like a supported boat pose. So I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll also show you the other option. So if you want to use the strap, you'll just bring the strap underneath both feet. You'll lift the feet off the floor and hold here. This gives you the option for straight legs wherever they are, because you have the length of the strap. Okay, so we'll be working the chest toward the toes and working with that strap to pull the feet a little bit closer to the face. Okay, so we're getting a nice hamstring stretch here. Other option is to take the peace fingers around the big toes, lift the feet off the floor, and extend the legs long. Okay, so if you can grip onto the toes. If you don't have a strap and that's not possible, you can just hold on to the backs of the legs. Okay, so lots of options here for you. Continue to lift through the chest. And then option, if you're holding onto the toes or the legs, not a strap, you can start to separate the legs, get your balance, lift through the chest. So this will get a nice inner thigh stretch as well as a hamstring stretch. So hold here. And if none of those options are working for you, you can always take a seated forward fold. It's a nice hamstring stretch. This is just adding a little core and balance work in. Let's come back towards center. If your legs are split, hold here, lift through the chest. Okay, and release. Good. All right, so we're gonna stretch the quadriceps and hip flexors, and then we'll come back to some standing poses. We're gonna take King Arthur pose, so you do need a wall, so find a wall. And this is good preparation for splits pose at the end of class, because in splits, we don't just need the open hamstring, but we also need the open hip and the open quad. All right, so bring your mat to a wall. And if you have really sensitive knees, you're just gonna fold your mat 1 or 2 times so you have a little extra padding. And then we're gonna take the right leg back first, and we're just gonna set that right knee against the wall. And then you're gonna take your right shin and you're gonna bring it up onto the wall so that your toes, top of your foot is flat to the wall, flush to the wall. And then you're gonna take your left leg forward into a low lunge position. So you can just drag your foot or however it's gonna get there. You want to have the knee right over the ankle and nice alignment here. Okay, alignment is important. If this is as far as you can go, hip, quadricep feeling kind of tight, stay here. Otherwise, bring one hand or maybe both hands up onto the left knee and kind of interlace your fingers. A little balance going on here too. Might feel a little wobbly like I do right now. Now, if you're feeling like, oh, I could even go a little bit further, great. Then you start to walk your hands up your leg and start to press your back toward the wall. Very intense stretch for your hip flexor and your quadricep. You'll feel it right away. Little strength building happening also in the left leg. 3 more breaths. Last breath. And release. Just slide that shin off the wall. You can even give your legs a little pat, stretch, stretch. Okay, whatever feels good for the release. And then we'll take it on the other side. So bring your left knee toward the wall. And then your shin is gonna come up the back of the wall, or up the wall, so that your foot is resting flat. Bring your right leg forward so you're in a low lunge position on your right side. Make sure the knee is right over the ankle. And if this is where you are today, this is fine. You can just work the pose from this position. If you feel like you can go a little deeper, hands to the knee. Start to lift the chest. And again, if you feel like you can go deeper, just start to walk the hands up the thigh, working the back toward the wall. One side might feel extremely different than the other, very normal. So we're gonna hold it for 3 more breaths. But for a home practice, and if you feel like this stretch is really effective for you, I really recommend holding King Arthur pose for, upwards of 10 breaths. And the longer you hold the pose, of course, the more the body is gonna open up. This is a great stretch, especially for runners who have tight hips and tight quads. Last breath. And release. Shin comes off the wall. Good. And you might want to just take a couple little stretches on this side. Just releasing the pose. And then you can move your mat away from the wall. Come back to a couple of standing postures. So let's make our way back to a downward facing dog. Reconnect to your Ujjayi breath. Last full breath. If you don't already, just have your strap handy toward the front of your mat. And then inhale the right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step through. Inhale, right to standing split. Step onto your right leg, lift your left leg high. This time we're gonna take 3 Jiva squats. So left knee behind the right squat. Inhale, extend, just building some heat in that right leg. Exhale, release. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. Inhale, extend. And then take your left leg and bring it off toward the corner of the room. Now we're gonna tap the left toes to the right. So bend that right leg, tap, and sweep it all the way up and across. 2 more, tap. Last one, tap. And of course you can go at your own pace here. And then come back to standing splits. And then you have 2 options here. So maybe walk your foot a little bit further back so you can place your hands on the mat. Hands underneath shoulders for a little handstand prep kicks. If you don't want to do handstand prep, just take more Jiva squats. So you'll just continue to lift and release. We're just burning out that right leg. If you want to take the handstand prep, you'll just start kicking off that right leg and coming down. And kick, release. Kick at your own pace. Maybe get a little bit higher each time. Last 2. If you're kicking into handstand, land lightly. Come back to low lunge. And then you can take hold of your strap and come to standing on your right foot. Okay, so we have a couple options for Padangustasana, big toe pose. You can take your strap around your foot, either the loop or the length, okay? If you don't have a strap, no worries. Option number 2, big knee pose. You can just hold on to the knee and you don't need to extend the leg. Option number 3, peace fingers around big toe, hand to hip, extend the leg. Okay, so hold here first. Notice the left shoulder if it's coming forward, pull it back, and then you can extend that right leg arm to the right so that we can open the left leg to the left. Okay, so if you're in standing big knee, take that knee, open it up. And again, if you have the strap, continue to hold the posture and breathe. Just holding onto that strap, extending the leg to the side. Lots of options, lots of variations for the pose. Wherever you are, let's make our way back towards center, hand back to the hip, and then we're gonna cross that left ankle over the right knee. Bring hands to the heart for standing pigeon pose. Sink down into the hips, lift through the chest. Two more breaths. Last breath. Okay, we're gonna release into chair pose. So take that left foot to meet the right. Inhale here. Exhale, balance chair, drinking bird. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, just burning out those legs. Exhale, the warmer our legs are, the more effective our stretches will be. Okay, bring hands to the heart. Separate the knees. Bring hands to the floor. Knees come high up into the back of the arms. One arm balance if you'd like to play around with crow pose. Heels lift toward the hips. Maybe we work towards straightening the arms for crane. Option chaturanga, jump back, otherwise step high plank, lower down. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Two more breaths. Last breath. Left leg lifts, low lunge. Standing splits. From here, 3 jiva squats, right knee behind left. 3, 2, 1. Bring that right leg to the right, and then we're gonna tap the right toes to the left. Tap and bend. Extend. 2 more. Extend. Last one. Extend. Come back to standing splits. Same thing on this side. For handstand prep, place the hands on the floor, shoulders over the wrists. Start to kick. Otherwise, jiva squat, lift, lower. Burning out that left leg. Last one. Return to low lunge. And take that strap with you as you come to standing on the left leg. So Padangustasana on this side. Strap around the foot. Okay, option 1, hand around the knee. Option 2, pinky fingers around the big toe. Option 3. Straighten through the right leg. Right shoulder coming forward, draw it back. And then start to open through the leg. Extend that left arm to the left. For standing big knee, draw the knee toward the right, keep the leg at 90, left arm to the left. Draw the leg back towards center, left hand to left hip, right foot across left knee, hands to the heart. Standing pigeon, sink down, keep the chest lifted, weight back in the back heel, or back in the left heel. Last breath. Release, chair pose. Inhale here. Exhale, heels lift. Inhale, arms high. Last time, exhale, heels lift. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Vinyasa if you'd like. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Down onto your mat. Make your way to your back. One more heat builder for the legs. Bring the heels in toward the hips. Arms alongside the body. Lift up into bridge pose. Really press into the heels. Chin away from the chest, chest coming toward the chin. Lift higher. We're gonna bring the feet to touch. So bring toes and heels together. Bring the knees to touch. A little different spine strengthener right there. And then pressing into the left foot, extend the right leg, but keep the thighs parallel with one another. So instead of bringing it high, bring it to about 45 degrees. Hold here. Already my left leg is shaking, so building a lot of strength. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Last one, lower. Lift, hold it here, cross the right ankle over the left knee. Okay, now we're in reclined pigeon pose, hips lifted, so it's a variation. Press that right knee down. Getting all these strengtheners and stretches, strengtheners and stretches. Switch it out. Bring the knees together. Lift the left leg off the floor, about 45 degrees, so two thighs are parallel to one another. Right leg's shaking, that's a good sign. And lower, and lift, and lower. Lift, and lower. Last one, lift, and lower. Lift back up, cross the left ankle over the right knee, hold here. Reclined pigeon variation. Press that left knee toward the floor. Lift the hips higher. Release. Hug the knees into the chest. And come up to a seat. All right, so we're gonna make our way into splits. Hanumanasana, monkey god pose. So if you have a towel and you're on a smooth surface, place the towel at the center of the front of your mat. It'll be like this. If you're on carpeted surface, you can always take a smooth paper plate, something that's slippery on the carpet, and place it out in front of your mat. If you have blocks, you can use them. You don't need blocks, they just make it a little bit easier so you can still work the pose without the blocks. So no stress about that. We're gonna take our right leg first and just place that right foot onto your towel or your paper plate. And then we're gonna start to just slowly slide the towel forward, walk the blocks forward. Again, without the blocks, hands on the floor. You just might not be able to go quite as deep with as much stability, but either way is fine. Just continue to slide that towel forward. Keep sliding. Eventually, if you get far enough, your toe will start to lift. If you get toward that straight leg position. Okay, and if you don't want to go into full splits or even go for it, you can take half splits, which is a great stretch for your hamstring. In half splits, you don't need to worry about the towel. You'll just take that left hip over the left knee, extend that right leg straight, and then forward fold over the right leg. So great hamstring stretch right there. Full splits, you're bringing not just the hamstring into it, but you're bringing the hip and quad, which we already warmed up for. So eventually you're sliding that towel forward,
coming down to that edge of your stretch. It's gonna be different for everyone. If you're up here, great, that's fine. Just find that place where you're like, all right, I'm at the edge and I'm just gonna work it a little bit deeper, hold it, breathe through it. Splits is not necessarily the most comfortable posture, so you're gonna feel what might feel like discomfort or pain, but you don't want any ouch pain like my hamstrings tearing in half, okay? So we want to avoid that. So last breath, wherever you are, maybe go just a smidgen deeper, and then let's release. So you'll just drag that foot back in, and then you're gonna come onto the shins, come to a seat, rock the hips a little bit. Okay, and then we'll take it on the other side. So bringing that left leg forward, onto your towel or your paper plate, with or without the blocks. And with the blocks, if you have blocks, you can take them higher, you know, any height. And then half splits, you'll keep your right hip over your right knee and extend your left leg forward and just forward fold over the left leg. Great hamstring stretch. It takes the hip and the hip flexor and the quad out of it. If you want to go for it, start to slide that leg forward. Really, really common to have one side work a little easier than the other. That is the case for me. So I can do splits on my right side, splits on my left side. Seems to be an enigma, but that's okay. I'm still working on it. And just hold that pose, go a little bit deeper, continue to breathe. If you're in full splits, I encourage you to walk the hands, and I can't do it because I can't do full splits on this side, back so they're underneath your shoulders. So then you can have that nice long lifted spine. If you're still working into it, it's okay if the hands are forward of the hips. A couple more breaths. And release. Ouch. That's a good one. It's a doozy. That is a big, big, big pose. But the more you practice it and the longer you hold it, the closer you'll get. The more your body will open. It just takes time. All right, just rock around a little bit. And we're going to come down onto our backs. Move your props out of the way. We're going to take 2 sets of bridge or wheel, one or both. Bring the hips in, lift, or the heels in toward the hips and lift the hips off the floor. And then option for chest expansion, you can take those hands, interlace them underneath your hips and then roll onto the shoulders. Just a nice way to open the chest and shoulders as well as get a little bit higher. So our last inhale, we'll let the exhale release to the floor. Knees rest toward one another, soft breath. Second set, take bridge again, or if you'd like to take wheel, I'll guide you through it. So flip the hands so the fingers point toward the heels, elbows point toward the ceiling. Press into your heels, start to lift the hips off the floor, and then very lightly press yourself up onto the crown of the head. And just get stable here, bring those hands to shoulder distance apart. And then for full expression, start to straighten the arms and lift up into wheel. We want the heels behind the toes, the knees in line with the hips, which mine probably aren't. Still working on that, but press those knees toward one another. Last couple breaths.
Release onto the crown of the head. Roll down onto the back. Let the knees rest towards each other. And then very slowly draw the knees in toward the chest. Pull the knees in tight and then roll to the right. Stack the knees, stack the ankles, and then extend that left arm to the left. Right hand onto left knee. Come back through center. Release the knees to the left. Stack the knees and stack the ankles. Extend that right arm to the right. Left hand comes to right knee. Press that left or that right shoulder to the mat. Maybe look to the right. Last breath. Come back through center. Then separate the knees and the feet. Feet stamp to the ceiling, and then you can hold on to the calves, the ankles, the outer, inner edge of the feet or toes. Happy baby pose. Press the tailbone down, shoulders down, so we have a nice flat back. Pull the knees toward the floor. You can rock side to side as an option. A little massage for the spine. Maybe extend the legs long. We have nice open legs after all of that work we did in class. And then draw the knees back into the chest. Tight squeeze. Bring the forehead toward the knees. Tuck everything in nice and tight. And then release, shavasana. Extend the legs long. Feet fall open. Arms alongside the body. Palms face up. Close the eyes. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Let it go through the mouth. Feel free to stay in your shavasana as long as you'd like. The longer, the better, in my opinion. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.